An hour north of the Golden Gate Bridge lies the charming town of Healdsburg, a wine and foodie destination and one of only a few towns so close to so many wine districts. More than 100 wineries and tasting rooms are just a short drive into 3 surrounding wine-growing regions: Alexander Valley, Dry Creek Valley, and Russian River Valley. I'm here to experience the hospitality heart of Sonoma County wine country.
Hi there, Karen LeBlanc here, design and travel editor of La Palme magazine. And I just checked into Hotel Les Mars in Healdsburg, California. This gorgeous French chateau-inspired 16-room hotel is packed with 17th and 18th century antiques such as my gorgeous room with its canopy bed and stone fireplace hearth, and my room has 4 wraparound Juliet balconies. Now, in just a moment, we're going to take a tour of the hotel so I can show you some more of its many amenities and design details, which I'm sure will inspire you. So upon check-in, here's how the ritual goes. Every single guest is greeted with a complimentary half bottle of French champagne. So I will let you do the honors.
So we're one of a few places that offers this in the United States. We've offered it for almost 2 years now. And it's just something that we feel really special about, being able to give a taste of France to everybody who checks in and arrives at our hotel. The hotel was built by the Mars family, hence its name, Hotel Mars. And their dream was to build and operate a hotel. And they were commercial real estate developers, and they built one of the most beautiful hotels to look and feel like a French mansion in the downtown area of Healdsburg, California. We aspire to here is to have guests feel like they're coming into a home, away from home, versus some sort of more cookie cutter where every room is the same. Here, every room is truly different.
What I really like about the hotel too is that you locally source some of the food and amenities and products in the hotel.
A lot. So our restaurant that we partner with is Chalkboard, and a lot of their menu comes from the organic gardens at Chalk Hill Estate. So they're able to serve organic vegetables that are grown about 15 minutes away. On the wine list, a lot of Sonoma County wines. In the hotel, every guest that stays with us receives complimentary wine from Sonoma County as part of their in-room amenities.
Before I head out to dinner down the block at Valette, I stop by the hotel's daily complimentary wine tasting.
I'm Brian Shapiro. I'm the business development manager for Farrell Winery here in Healdsburg, and we're doing a wine tasting hour at Hotel Mars. Starting folks out with the Rocchioli Vineyard Chardonnay. This is the vineyard that started it all for us in 1982. We sourced a barrel of Rocchioli and a barrel of Allen and sold wine out of the back of a pickup truck. We are about 10 miles outside of town on West Side Road.
Gary Farrell Vineyards and Winery is known for crafting small lot artisan Pinot Noirs and Chardonnays. By 2020, Sonoma County aims to become a 100% certified sustainable wine growing region to protect the land and a way of life for future generations.
The idea is that we want to be able to have vineyard partners that are going to basically put together vineyards that they can give to the next generation. So looking at integrated pest management instead of spraying, looking at maintaining the environment in the sense of having critters in the vineyard, having hawks and owls, and doing everything they can to basically maintain the soil and maintain the value of the land.
Next, I'm off to dinner at Valette, a popular Healdsburg restaurant. Valette is known as a culinary canvas for Sonoma County farmers, winemakers, and artisans to showcase their craft.
Good morning. So I slept like a baby on a marshmallow cloud in this French antique canopy bed with its high thread count Egyptian cotton sheets. So I'm enjoying my French pressed coffee that was delivered to my room along with my continental breakfast of yogurt and croissants. And I am going to head out to the town square of Healdsburg to check out the art galleries and the boutiques. And I'm told there is a real artistic soul here.
There is a synergy in Healdsburg between its many artists, artisans, and local winemakers who promote each other's crafts among the shops, galleries, restaurants, and tasting rooms. The town's wine roots sustain and inspire creatives who share a purpose, passion, and earth-friendly ethos. With a population of just under 12,000, Healdsburg retains its small-town charm as an under-the-radar wine tourist destination.
Today I'm venturing just a short drive outside of the town of Healdsburg. My first stop is the Mazzocco Winery. Here is where we're going to learn a little bit about the winery's sustainable practices.
Mazzocco started back in the 80s. Dr. Mazzocco started it, and the Wilsons purchased it in 2005.
What is it, do you think, that sets it apart in particular when it comes to winemakers in Sonoma County?
We're laid back, and here, being in Dry Creek, in the heart of Dry Creek, Mazzocco specializes in over 24 Zins.
Oh,
So if you like Zin, this is
Perfect.
the place to come. Well, we've always tried to be sustainable, and I'm delighted that the county is trying to get everyone on board. So they want, in a few years, for 100% of all the growers to be sustainable. And we just got certified.
Oh, congratulations.
So it's a really good thing. So we have about 650 acres in the county that have been certified. It speaks of being kind to the earth and to the people that work in the vineyards.
So it's about being socially responsible as well.
It's yeah.
So behind me is a mobile bottling factory for the winery, and I'm going to take you inside and show you how they bottle their wine on site.
On the day I visited, Mazzocco was preparing to release its 2017 Dry Creek Valley Zinfandel, one of more than 24 Zinfandels Mazzocco produces in small bottlings from several distinctive vineyards, rather than blending multiple vineyards together.
So my next stop is the Quivira Winery, and it gets its name from old maps which had the location Quivira on the California coast. So there's an interesting story that you'll learn about in just a few minutes. Right now I'm sampling one of their signature rosés.
The founders were world-class map collectors, the Wentz, Holly and Harry Wentz, and they're quite well known in the collectible map world. Their collections go on tour around the world to museums. And Quivira was a name on old maps of the California coast back in the 1500s when people first started coming over from Europe. Our vineyards go back to the early 70s with some of our purchased grapes from local old vine vineyards going back over 100 years. We're out of it right now, unfortunately, but we do one old vine Zin that was planted in 1900. And there's still a little bit of those amazing old vine Zin vineyards around here that really, put Dry Creek Valley on the map, and especially on the map with arguably some of the finest Zinfandel on the planet. But Quivira from the beginning is, like a lot of wineries, put their flag in the ground with Zinfandel.
Quivira earned a sustainability certification for its holistic and biodiverse practices. An organic garden, farm, apiary, and livestock on the property adds to its biodiversity. I leave Dry Creek Valley and head to Alexander Valley, the home of Silver Oak Winery and Vineyards, just 10 miles outside of Healdsburg. There, a modern glass barn greets me as panoramic views open up to the surrounding 113-acre estate, planted with 75 acres of Cabernet Sauvignon. Right now, I am standing in the middle of Silver Oaks Vineyards, drinking a 2014 fabulous Silver Oak Cab, grown right here at the source on this sustainable vineyard.
All the vineyards here are sustainable now, so which just means we're pretty self-sufficient, and none of us are doing anything to harm the land. For example, in here where you see this tilled up, we plant alfalfa, fava beans, mustard, and you do that in the fall so that in the rains of the winter, if we get rain, the soil won't roll down the path here. And then these have been tilled into the soil because these are high in nitrogen, so you don't have to use a chemical here. And then where you see where it's kind of brown, those are weeds, and we don't use any harsh chemicals. So this is basically a soap product, and the soap on top of a weed keeps it from getting liquid into the system, and it kills it naturally. Our goal is to leave this better for the future generations. This is a membrane bioreactor. And what that means, when we rinse the tanks, we rinse the barrels, all the water goes in the membrane. It's solar-powered biological process that cleans our water. So we can use our water up to 16 times. Stored in these tanks until we need to use it again, but here's what that really does. It saves us 30% on new water use.
Wow.
Which is huge.
Yeah,
so we're seeing wineries from all over America come to see us.
We're the only winery in Northern California that uses American oak exclusively. And most California cabs get 18 months in a barrel, in the bottle, released at 3 years of age. Brand Justin thought they were too young, so we do it longer. So we do 2 years in our barrel, 1.5 years in the bottle for the Alexander Valley, 2 years for the Napa. We release our wines at 4 to 4.5 years. The Duncan family bought the cooperage a few years back because the original partners retired. The reason they bought this is all these barrels are still being made by hand, which is a dying art form. So we can make about 20 barrels a day there by hand. They're toasted by hand, and they do a couple different toasts on them based on what the winemaking team wants.
I end my tour at the Silver Oak Library, a round room anchored by a 9-ton basalt rock table with walls lined with silver oak bottles of various vintages.
One thing I will say about staying here at Hotel Les Mars is the attention to detail and the personalized service is impeccable. I woke up very early this morning and I have a gourmet espresso coffee maker in my room. I already used up all my coffee pods, so I went downstairs. They brought me an entire box of coffee pods to make more espresso than my heart rate can take, but it's just that kind of attention to detail. And also, wait, they left me a gift last night. Let me show you what was on my pillow when I got back to my hotel room. See this? You want to open it? Let's check it out. And it is a little box with 2 gourmet chocolates. Look at that on my pillow. How sweet is that? We're gonna head over to Jordan Vineyard and Winery, which I'm told produces one of the best California cabs. Now it's raining outside, so we're gonna have to improvise a little bit on our vineyard hike, but hopefully we'll learn some of their winemaking techniques.
I head just 5 miles north of Healdsburg, and as I arrive, Jordan's iconic French chateau comes into view, commanding over 1,200 acres of vineyards and olive trees, cattle pastures, farms, and gardens. Jordan was founded as a culinary-focused winery in 1972 by Tom and Sally Jordan, who drew inspiration from the great wine estates of France. The chateau welcomes guests for tasting and tours and houses a kitchen, dining room, guest suites, a wine tasting library, cellars, and offices. On the day I visited, Jordan's winemaker Rob Davis was preparing to master blend his 2018 vintage into French oak barrels. Jordan recently changed its oak barrel program, switching to entirely French oak barrels, releasing the first wine aged exclusively in French oak barrels, the new 2015 Jordan Cabernet Sauvignon. After my tour, I meet executive chef Todd Knoll, who has prepared a lunch showcasing the estate's bounty of natural and foraged ingredients paired with Jordan's wines in the reimagined dining room by interior designer Jeffrey DeSouza.
Our story has always been bringing the nature into this room, and we wanted a more beautiful backdrop for the natural kind of cooking we do and the flower arrangements. And so to me, it really looked, when he went darker, it reminds me of when we're foraging in the forest and beneath the huckleberries and the loam. So it has that nice romantic feeling. The way the wallpaper was done, that was really important to us to keep the bones of the original building. They're so beautiful. And many of the antiques we were able to keep as well.
Jordan, like many Sonoma County wineries, works with local artists, makers, and culinary talents, including Journeyman Meat Company, which created a custom cured meat to pair with Jordan's wines. I head back to downtown Healdsburg, where Journeyman Meat Company has a storefront and a butcher's shop, and I meet with its proprietors, the husband and wife team Pete and Kathy Sagicio. Pete has a passion for the old world way of curing meats, so he apprenticed in Italy to master the culinary art, and he founded a store that produces heritage breed salami.
We're the county's only USDA cured meat facility. All of our fermentation and aging rooms are from Italy. Salumi, or salami is just the plural of salami, is very much like wine. It's fermented and it's aged like wine does as well. And it's very sensitive too. You want to cut it fresh, you want to eat it fresh. If you cut it and let it sit for several days, it's going to oxidize like wine. So very similar. We ferment slow and we ferment at a lower temperature, so our salami is not going to be acidic. Most of the salami made in America is cooked. It's fermented at a high temperature, and so if it's fermented hot, it ages fast. So we ferment at a low temperature in the low 70s, and so that gives us much longer aging times, about twice as long as industry. So you'll notice the salami is going to be more voluptuous, more round, have more palate weight, and it's going to work better with wine because it doesn't have that biting acidity.
Pete is also an acclaimed winemaker. His San Lorenzo vineyard has 120-year-old grapes dating back to when the vineyard was first purchased by his great-grandfather in 1896 with 10 gold coins he earned as a cook in the California gold mines.
But everything on the back wall are wines that I make with my children. So you're trying the rosé, our Chardonnay, and then probably our Zinfandel. The rosé that's Chardonnay. So the Chardonnay is done with 4 very famous vineyards, all from Russian River. And so it's very complex because it's 4 components blended together. The rosé is done with 3 pressings, all done in a concrete egg fermenter. The concrete egg keeps the wine mixed up, so there's more creaminess and solids in the wine. And then the last one that you'll try is our Zinfandel called San Lorenzo. That's all estate fruit. Just got 94 points on the Wine Spectator, but it's a very famous vineyard.
After 3 days of non-stop wine drinking, I discover an anomaly in Healdsburg. Alley 6 Distillery. It's owned by husband and wife team Jason and Crystal Jorgensen, which begs the question, why produce whiskey and gin in the heart of wine country?
We're kind of the crafty boutique distillery. We do everything by hand, from scratch, from kind of grain to glass or peach to goblet kind of thing. We're just like a kind of unique variation of alcohol in wine country.
Well, that's what I'm going to ask you. So what motivated you to open a craft distillery in the heart of wine country?
It's just a change of pace. I bartended for 14 years before jumping off and doing this, and started doing homebrew beer, and actually came across a still at a flea market. And after we found a still, we enrolled into the University of YouTube and taught ourselves how to make alcohol. Our lineup that we have right now, which is kind of changing, we have a single malt whiskey, rye whiskey, apple brandy, a gin, which is our kind of Sonoma County expression of gin, and a spiced peach liqueur that we make with some peaches down the road from us.
Very cool.
And some bitters too, very unique bitters, made with mushrooms.
In winemaking, there is a term called angel share. It's the amount of wine that evaporates as it ages in barrels. It's a poetic expression that belies a belief in Sonoma County wine country that nothing goes to waste. Even the angels benefit from Sonoma's sustainable mentality. By 2020, the entire wine growing region aims to be 100% certified sustainable. My takeaway from my trip to Healdsburg is this. It's where you go to rediscover the basic ingredients of a life well lived. Good food, great company, creative inspiration, and shared passions.